Hi, welcome to Ray at the Movies, and welcome to my 31 Days of Halloween, where I upload a video every day for the whole month of October. Today we're going to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Sorry. The movie came out November 1st, 1985. It is my least favorite of the bunch, so I give it 2 out of 5 already. I'll explain in a minute my problems with the story, why I don't like it. The cast is Robert Englund from V the Series, V the Final Battle, V the Miniseries, Eaten Alive, Mark Patton, Anna to the Infinite Power, Misplaced, Amityville Clown House, Dead Dog, Kim Myers, In the Mood, Hellraiser Bloodline, The Last Sin Eater, Letter from a Killer, Robert Russler, Weird Science, Vamp, Sometimes They Come Back, Tales of Halloween, Glue Gallagher, Feast 1 through 3, Return of the Living Dead, The Hidden Uninvited, Hope Lang, Death Wish, Blue Velvet, Clear and Present Danger, Just Cause, Marshall Bell, Stand By Me, Total Recall, Dick Tracy, Starship Troopers, Lehman Ward, Creature, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Guilty as Charged, Sleepwalkers, directed by Jack Shoulder, The Hidden, Renegades, Wishmaster 2, Arachnid, written by David Chastain, The Curse, I Madman, Midnight Child, Love Hurts, and music by Christopher Young, Sinister, Priest, Drag Me to Hell, The Grudge 1 and 2. Here's the story. A teenage boy is haunted in his dreams by a deceased child murderer, Freddy Krueger, who is out to possess him in order to continue his reign of terror in the real world. And then here's another one. A new family moves into the house on Elm Street, and before long the kids are having nightmares about deceased child murderer Freddy Krueger. This time Freddy attempts to cause havoc in the real world, and he can only be overcome if the kids can master their fear. Jesse Welsh moves into with his family into the home of the lone survivor from a series of attacks by a dream-stalking monster, Freddy Krueger. There, Jesse, bedeviled by nightmares and independently violent impulses. It turns out Freddy needs a host's body to carry out his gruesome vendetta against the youth of Springwood, Ohio. While Freddy gains influence, Jesse and his girlfriend, Lisa, race against the clock trying to figure out what's going on. Trivia. New Line Cinemas originally didn't ask Robert Englund to return as Freddy Krueger and refused to give him a pay raise. A stuntman was cast as Freddy at the start of production. After 2 weeks of filming, Robert Shai realized this was a terrible lapse in judgment, fired the stuntman, hired Robert Englund, and met his demands. In the opening sequence, the bus driver is Robert Englund without the Freddy makeup. The only Nightmare film in which the lead character is male. In an interview featured in Search of Darkness Part 2, Robert Englund states that he was fully aware of the homoerotic elements of the film and was enthusiastic about playing up these undertones in the on-screen interactions between Freddy and Jesse. Mark Patton says in Never Sleep Again, The Nightmare Legacy, that he had to say no to some pieces of business, such as Freddy putting his blades in Jesse's mouth, and that made him feel uncomfortable. Michael J. I don't know. Now this, I don't know if this is true, so take this with a grain of salt, because I have never heard of this one before. Michael J. Fox was considered for the role of Jesse Welsh, but was unable due to his commitments to Back to the Future and Teen Wolf. Makeup effects artist Kevin Yeager replaced David B. Miller, who designed the Freddy makeup for the original. Yeager only had a few pictures and the original film as reference, so he redesigned Freddy's look. Studying pictures of burn victims, he made changes to Freddy's look, namely by bringing out the facial bones. He said that his intent was to make Freddy look like a male witch and give Freddy red and amber eyes to make him more demonic looking, and it works. This is the best makeup effects, I think, there is in this. Jack Shoulder couldn't direct the pool house. Oh wait, hold on. Robert Englund has stated that Freddy's Revenge is his least favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Jack Shoulder couldn't direct the pool house love scene without cracking up or laughing, so he gave it to the assistant to direct instead. Rather than continue the story of the first film's sole survivor, Nancy, this movie focuses on the new residents of Nancy's old Elm Street house, joining a grand tradition of horror sequels which ignore the survivors of the prior installment for what would appear to be cost control reasons. Langenkamp told that Never Sleep Again documentary that she was never actually offered a chance to do this movie, and the film's line producer couldn't recall if there had ever actually been any internal discussions at New Line about bringing her back. It has been hypothesized that David Chaslin and Jack Shoulder's new concept of Freddy possessing someone in the real world versus killing them in their dreams seems so different from the first film that bringing Nancy back wouldn't make a lot of sense. And that does make sense. This is the only film in the series not to use Charles Bernstein's original theme or a variation of it. The room, which used to be Nancy's old bedroom, has a different layout. A Nightmare on Elm Street, the door was attached to the same wall as the window, whereas in the film the door seems to be in the middle of the room. It's possible that the 1428 Elm Street house was partially remodeled in between the events of the first film and this film. The last film in the original Nightmare on Elm Street series, in which Nancy's house is the focal point of Freddy's terror. The rest of the series focuses more on the town of Springwood, with the house making an occasional appearance. In the hybrid film Freddy vs. Jason, it was referenced that Laurie lived in Freddy's house, but the scene was cut from the theatrical. It does, however, appear in the deleted scenes section on the DVD release. Unlike the first film, this film shows Freddy's sweater has stripes on the sleeves. In A Nightmare on Elm Street, the stripes were only on the torso of the sweater, with the sleeves being solid red. Heather Langenkamp never asked to come back, and the producers never thought of adding her to the story. She returned in A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors instead. Special effects man Rick Lasny created a demonic parakeet puppet for the scene in which the Welsh's pet bird flies around and explodes. His puppet was not used because the filmmakers wanted a regular looking bird. According to the Fangoria magazine, it was revealed that screenwriter Leslie Boham wrote an early script titled A Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy's Baby. My concept was a homage to Rosemary's Baby. I came up with a plot that had a new family move into the house, a teenage boy, his pregnant mother, and a stepfather the boy didn't get along with. It was a real bloody, scary idea, much more physical and realistic because the dream reality stuff was less central to the movies then. My story was more of a possession scenario with Freddy getting inside the mother's womb, controlling the fetus. But New Line passed on it because an executive, Sarah Richer, was pregnant at that time, and I understand the idea upset her, so they would later write A Nightmare on Elm Street The Dream Child, which also dealt with the idea of Freddy going after an unborn baby. Brad Pitt, John Stamos, and Christian Slater all auditioned for the role of Jesse. John Stamos ended up playing a character named Jesse in the TV series Full House and Fuller House. Wes Craven, director of Nightmare on Elm Street, didn't like this film. Craven stated that the film's script was substandard and took too many liberties with the character of Freddy Krueger and broke many of the rules set up in the original. He hated the pool scene, feeling he couldn't take Freddy killing teens taller than he was seriously. A novel, Abbott, a very short one based on the screenplay, was written by Jeffrey Cooper and featured within the Nightmare on Elm Street, the continuing story, part 1, 2, and 3. One of the 3 films in the franchise, the others being Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and Freddy vs. Jason, in which no characters aside from Freddy himself reappear or return from other films. The series, even though Johnny Depp has a cameo in Freddy's Dead, he does not play Glenn from A Nightmare on Elm Street, but another character. This is the second film released in 1985 that stars Robert Richer. The film is weird. The first film is weird science. Now the problem I had with it is the whole idea of Freddy Krueger possessing the body of somebody and trying to get into the real world. For he's more scarier in the dream world because he can kill you. He has complete control of the dream world, where in the real world he's vulnerable. He can be killed easily because he's mortal in the real world. So the idea of him wanting to possess Jesse so he can seek revenge didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I love the special effects. The characters and the actors do a great job, but I just think it wasn't wasn't keeping with the movie by having him possess Jesse so that he can get revenge and be in the real world, because he's more of a threat in the dreams. I thought the concepts and the scenes where he's taking over Jesse's body was awesome. Special effects, incredible, and found it to be a great film. Special effects to be great, but the movie not to be as great. I still don't like it as much, and I give it 2 out of 5 stars. I really the 5th movie I also am not a fan of, but like I said, I've grown to kind of starting to like that movie. And 2 and 5 are the only ones I'm not really that crazy about. So with that, I'm out of here, and I have one more Nightmare movie, and that's New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which I hope to watch soon so I can get the Nightmare on Elm Street movies done and edited and posted for the 31 days of Halloween. I hope you've enjoyed the series so far, and I hope that my input, you like my my reviews. Like I said, the cast does a great job. Everybody is good in the movie. The special effects are fantastic. Are my favorite part of the film, especially towards the end, is the special effects I really like. Because so with that, I'm out of here. And also, real quick, I noticed they don't really reference the second movie. They do 1, and then they skip 2, and they go from 3 on all the way to New Nightmare. Actually, I don't know if New Nightmare acknowledges the other movies. I have to rewatch that. It's been a while. Alright, and also the Blu-ray box set, the movies look fantastic because I've watched 5, 6, and 2, and they look, the picture quality looks fantastic. So with that, I'm definitely out of here. You have a good rest of your day. Bye.